Hey, what is going on, guys? JT Dragonlord here, and I am going over from the Vault 20 today. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at every card, give my opinion of the cards, and just tell you whether or not I would honestly buy this or not. So let's get started. The first card we're talking about here is Kessick Wolfrun. It's a land, taps to add 1 to your pool. X green red tap, target creature gets plus X plus O and gains trample till end of turn. And this is a very powerful land. I mean, I've seen people use it just for red green tap. You have tramples on the turn, and that's awesome. It's a land that can give your guy trample and some extra power to go along with it. So this is a really powerful card. I mean, it's currently standard, I believe, still. So I mean, this is really good. Next, we're moving on to Green Sun Zenith, another really powerful card. I use it a lot in my EDH decks. Turn 1 fetch Dried Arbor. Turn 3 fetch Raphellos. I mean, it's just an overall good card. I mean, it's X green sorcery, search library for a green creature card, convert mana cost X or less, put it in the battlefield, and shuffle Green Suns back into your deck. I mean, it's a really powerful card. I really like it a lot. Moving on next to Chameleon Colossus. 2 colorless, 2 green, 4/4 creature, shapeshifter, changeling, pro black, pay 4, 2 and 2 green. He gets plus X, where X is its power. And this card is really sick. It's really, really good. When it came out, and I believe Morningtide, it was a really powerful card. In my opinion, it's still a very powerful card because if you have 12 mana, this thing just becomes super, super fat, and it's an all-around good card because it's all creature types. It could be a sliver, an elf, goblin, wizard, whatever you need it to be. It's just a really all-powerful card. I'm going over these cards pretty quickly because there's 20 cards to go over, and I don't want the video to be super long. So that's why I'm going over these cards fairly quick. Next, we have Char. 2 colorless, 1 red instant. Deals 4 damage to target creature and 2 damage back to you. Jeez, when I think about Char being in like a From the Vault set, my head just hurts. I don't like Char. It was good when it came out. I mean, these cards are supposed to be like cards that like defined the year of Magic for each of the years, or whatever. So I mean, Char was good back in its day. When I look at it now, I'm just like, oh, why? So not a big fan of Char personally. Moving on to Chainer's Edicts. 1 colorless, 1 red, sorcery. Target player sacks a creature, and flashback for 5 and 2 black. This card is not bad. It's 2 mana, target player sacks a creature. That's pretty good. Making a target player sacrifice a creature gets around a lot of different stuff. And I think this is an overall cool card. It's got amazing new art. I love the art on this card. This is a really good card. I like it a lot. Let's move on to Factor Fiction. 3 colorless, 1 blue, instant. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Yep, an opponent separates those cards into 2 different piles. You choose one. One pile goes to your hand. 1 pile goes to your graveyard. And this card is pretty well used in EDH. A lot of people like using it there. Not sure about anywhere else because I mainly play EDH. But, I look at this card. Factor Fiction's a good card. It generates card advantage. It can really put your opponent into a tough spot sometimes, depending on what cards you reveal. So a fairly decent card. I like it personally a lot. Moving on to Tango Wire. Tango Wire is a 3 mana artifact with Fading 4. This artifact enters the battlefield with 4 fade counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a fade counter from it. If you can't, sacrifice it. And it has the ability, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player taps an untapped artifact, creature, or land he or she controls for each fade counter on Tangle Wire. Now, when I think about this card, I'm like, douche. This card is very mean, and it's very good. If you have more of a slow-paced deck, and you're facing more of a heavy, quick aggro, like a red deck wins, This card is absolutely amazing. It slows the game down so much where it'll give your slower chance, your slower deck more of an advantage to win. And it's just your opponents absolutely hate you when you play this card. One of my buddies plays this in his mono red EDH deck, and I just want to slap him every time he plays it because it's so mean. And honestly, overall, just a really good card. Moving on to Thran Dynamo. This is a 4-mana artifact that simply just has to add 3 to your mana pool. And this card is very good. It accelerates you. It's 4 mana that gets you 3 back immediately, which is really, really good. It's much better than Urgolem's Eye, which is 4 mana that gives you 2. So this card is really good. It's really heavily used in EDH. It's just a really good card, just a really good acceler. And overall, just a really good card. Let's move on to Wall of Blossoms. This is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 green for a 0/4 defender. And when it enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. I think this card's good. It looks really cool. And it's just good. It's 2 mana for a 0/4 that draws you a card. I mean, Wall of Omens, I played with that card when it was standard legal. And it's the same card except it's white. And that's a really good card. I've never had the opportunity to play with this card, but I played with the Wall of Omens, and that card was really good. Moving on to, well, I pronounce it wrong, but I call it Fendelhorn Elf. Like, I'm going to throw a picture on so you know. But Fendelhorn Elf, it's a Llanowar Elf. It's 1 green for a 1/1 Elf Druid that taps to add to green to your pool. When I first saw this, I was so disappointed. I was like, no, they should have just put Llanowar Elf in here. But when this card was printed, I mean, it obviously does a lot for standard. It does a lot for everything now. I run it in my EDH deck just because it's another Llanowar Elf to run. You look at Elvish Mystic, Immediate Impact, and Standard. I mean, these cards are always immediately good. And these cards are always good. It has a sweet new art, and it's a good card. And so, I mean, we got Swords to Plowshares, and that is a 1 white instant that exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. I mean, this is a really, really, really good card. I love this card in like EDH, in whatever format it's even legal in. This card is very good. It's very powerful, and it's just an overall good card. Next, we have Dark Ritual, 1 black instant. Add 3 black to your pool. I mean, this card, it's simple. It gives you free mana. It's an instant. It's amazing. And it's first time foil, I believe, so that's really, really cool. Moving on to Cruel Ultimatum. Whew, this card. It's 2 blue, 3 black, 2 red, so 7 mana. For a sorcery, target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. Man, this card gives you all of the advantage. It gives you a creature back to your hand, your opponent sacks a creature. It gives you a 10 life swing, because you gain 5, they lose 5, that's awesome. And it gives you a 6 card swing, they discard 3 and you draw 3. This card is bonkers, I love it. It has amazing art, I love its art. That's awesome. I love this card. I'm glad it's in here. It's amazing. And it does all the things. Move on to Venser, Shaper Servant. We got 2 colorless, 2 blue for a 2/2 legendary creature, human wizard. He has flash. And when he enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Man. First of all, this guy's art is also amazing. It is amazing. I love it. I want like 50 of them just because he looks so cool. He's 4 mana for a 2/2 flash that returns a spell or permanent to its owner's hand. That's amazing. And if you can't counter a spell, you can bounce it back with Venser and then counter it the next turn. Or bounce their big creature back to their hand, then counter it. Or whatever you want to do. He's a very, very good card. Abusing his ETB trigger is very easy to do with like a Deadeye Navigator or something. Just an overall good card. Akroma's Vengeance. 4 colorless, 2 white, sorcery, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, cycling for 3. Good card, a very good card. I use it a lot in EDH. It's just clears. It's a sweeper. It has sweet new art. It's just an overall good card. Him to Torark. 2 black sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards at random. Like, this card is amazing. It gets rid of 2 cards at random from your opponent's hand, so it can hit their bombs. It has the potential of hitting bad stuff, but you know, usually if you drop this thing out turn 2, it's gonna do some damage, and just a good card. We got Ink Eyes, Servant of Oni. 4 colorless, 2 black for a 5/4 legendary creature, Rat Ninja. Has Ninjutsu for 3 and 2 black. Ninjutsu is basically, if you don't block them, you can play its ninjutsu cost, or if they don't block a creature you control, you can ninjutsu him into play instead of that creature. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may put target creature from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and he has 1 in a black to regenerate him. Very good card. I like this card a lot. He steals guys from your opponent's graveyard. You can sneak him in with ninjutsu. He can regenerate. Does all the things. He's a 5/4. He looks sweet. Just an overall good card. We got Impulse. It's 1 in a blue for an instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on bottom in any order. It's a good card. It's a good card. It gives you some card advantage. Allows you to dig a little bit through your deck. It has a cool new art. And it looks really cool in the foil, so that's really awesome. And it's just a good card overall. Next we have Gilded Lotus. It's a 5-mana artifact that taps to add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool. Good card. It's a nice exceller. It's nice that it creates colored mana. Has a sweet new art. You know, really not much to say there. It just looks really cool. And last, but definitely not least, we have Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yes, Jace the Mind Sculptor is in From the Vault 20. And, yep, he's 2 blue, 2 colorless for Planeswalker. Comes in with 3 loyalty, and he has 4 abilities. Crazy. +2, look at the top card of target player's library. You may put that card on bottom if you want. 0 is Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards, and put 2 cards from your hand and back on top. -1, we have Unsummon. Return target creature to its owner's hand. And -12 is ridiculous. Exile all cards from target player's library. Then that player shuffles his or her hand into her library. So it exiles their deck and turns their hand into their library, which is stupid. I mean, I've never actually had that ability done to me. Usually people use the first 3 abilities, the Fate Seal, the Brainstorm, and the Unsummon. But his ultimate is also very, very good. It's very, very powerful. And this is the card that makes From the Vault 20, in my opinion. If you were to take Jace out of this thing would be nowhere near as valuable as it is, and nowhere near as highly wanted as it is. I believe Jace makes the From the Vault 20. And my personal opinion of From the Vault 20 very quickly. It has a lot of good cards. It has a lot of cool cards. But, you know, I don't know. If I could pick one up for 80 or something, like 120, I would. I mean, you know, obviously Jace is worth it just by itself. But, you know, this is a really good From the Vault. I'm disappointed in a few of the cards that are in here just because they just seem like really weird card choices in here. But overall, a very good product. A very, very good product. There's a lot of awesome, powerful cards in here. And then, you know, it has the sweet foil. A lot of them have sweet new arts. And, you know, I would love to pick one of these up if I could. But, you know, From the Vault's 20 years are so hard to get that, you know, probably not going to happen, unfortunately, for me. But there you go, guys. That is my review. So, if I were to give this a rating out of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good rating in my opinion. So I would definitely look to pick one of these up if I have the opportunity. And if you already have one, congratulations to you. That is an awesome pickup. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy my review of From the Vault 20. And this wasn't so much a review, but just me telling you guys what is in there. But anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and all that good stuff. And I'm JT Dragonlord, and I'm out.